I'm Lydia, and welcome to Chiaroscuro. So today I'm going to do another cold read. The rules are, I've never seen the painting before, or picture, image, sculpt, whatever. I've never seen the piece of art before. That it is available for analysis from copyright laws. Always good to check. Some things won't be. And then the second rule is that in this cold read, using only what I can observe, trying to figure out as much as I can about this work of art. And I only have 10 minutes. So I'm actually going to be breaking one of those rules today. I have seen this work of art before, and I'm choosing it. I wanted to do a read on it and then research it because it's actually one that's relatively famous. And I keep seeing it places and it's just so weird. I want to figure out more about it, and I'm such a lazy person at heart that I need this to motivate me. So the piece of art is a Madonna and Child by Jean Fouquet? I'll Google that.
Fouquet.
But it's French or French-speaking person, which at various times could be at different places in Europe. And I'm pretty sure this is either early Renaissance, medieval, late medieval, very, very late medieval painting. So probably not the New World. So no, I don't think he's Canadian. But interesting painting. Yeah, it was one of the Madonna and Child, and it is actually a lactating Madonna or a nursing Madonna. So we get some very nice, well, you'll see. and nice is a relative term in a lot of these cases. Okay, so again, 10 minutes, try and figure out what I can, keeping in mind that I've seen this before and I'm actually pretty familiar with this subject, which is the lactating Madonnas. So I'll share a little bit of that, but try and keep most of it for the research portion, which I'll do the next video, which I'll present the research on it. I'll do that in 2 weeks or so. So that being said, here's the painting. Isn't it lovely? Time starts now. If you want to try and work and observe along with me, let me know what you've seen down below. So, this painting is predominantly created from 3 colors. You have that beautiful, vibrant red and the really stunning blue, along with its few other shades of blue, and then white. So it is a red, white, and blue painting. Maybe I should save this video and release it on the 4th of July. It makes me feel very patriotic, although, well, yes. So, those are the colors. And oddly enough, I was kind of surprised when I learned that it was a French person who painted this, because it looks very Northern Renaissance, from the Netherlands. And what makes me think of that is the beautiful detailing in her crown. So the central figure is the Madonna, dressed in blue as she usually is. The white is also very unsurprising. What we don't see that is frequently seen in pictures of Mary, of the Blessed Virgin Mary, is that usually she's wearing a red undergarment. Red signifies death, suffering, blood, also love and humanity. So lots of symbolism there. So she's not wearing this red undergarment. She's just wearing the blue overgarment. And the blue usually symbolizes the heavens. It can also signify the not purity as in stainlessness, but an idea of being blessed, of having been blessed by heaven. Okay, so she has this blue dress, and it's not, interestingly, it's not the same blue as these angels that are surrounding her. It's a duskier blue. It looks like it could actually have been a cloth. You would never, at this point in time, you would never have been able to find a cloth dyed the same blue as those angels. That is a pigment that only comes from certain places, and you can't use it to dye cloth. So it's a duskier blue, which makes it look like it could actually have been a real garment. And Mary has a teeny tiny waist. And then the few peculiarities of her anatomy, which I will get to shortly. So she's kind of hard to tell if she's sitting or if she's standing. The backdrop looks like it, so you have the angels, and then it looks like there's a chair behind her, or some sort of screen that's right behind her that looks like the back of a chair, but I can't tell if she's sitting or standing. Anyway, in her lap, we'll assume that she's sitting. In her lap is baby Jesus, and he has very short red hair, and he's looking off to the side and pointing in the direction that he's looking. This is also an odd element, because usually when someone is pointing, it's Mary, and she's pointing to Jesus. Sometimes Jesus will be pointing too, but usually he's pointing at something within the picture frame. You know, either a Mary, or at something he's holding, or something that's surrounding them. So he's pointing out of the picture frame, way off to when you're looking at the painting, it would be to the left. And he looks very solemn. He looks kind of angry. Now that's not unsurprising for paintings from that time period. Expressions that were depicted were more extreme, and often seemed more angry than what we are used to nowadays. But it really was just more referring to an idea of sternness, of solemnity, than of anger per se. Usually when they depicted anger, it would be really twisted, like "Arr," or something. Those sound effects too. All right, so he's sitting in her lap, and he's sitting on top of her cloak. Now her cloak is interesting because it's nice and shiny, beautiful textures, by the way. Sometimes you look at these paintings like this, and this is part of the reason why I think it's Northern Renaissance, why I thought it was Northern Renaissance, was that they're really good at getting the texture of cloth and getting the shine of jewels, and it looks like it's actually a jewel attached to the painting instead of actual paint in the shape of a jewel. Anyway, so beautiful shine. It looks like it could be silk or satin, but then it's lined with ermine, and ermine is a sign of royalty. You know, your stereotypical king with his red cape, and then that white fur lining with the black dots or thingies. That's ermine, and that's actually just the white fur of the animal, and then the black dot is the tail. The three things that are really peculiar about this painting are, maybe the most obvious, are these angels. I think we can call them angels. I don't think they're pooty. They're a little bit too odd to be pooty. Pooty are supposed to be cute. These are definitely not cute. They border on the creepy. And really the fact stems mostly from the fact that they're a solid color, with just the light and dark to give them modeling. They don't have any blushing on their skin. They don't have any modulations of color. Like even, I mean, you look at my skin and you might say, oh, you know, there's some yellow and some pink and some blue and brown, not just, you know, the white or peach of skin colors, but there are actually all sorts of colors that are in skin that don't have to do solely with light and shadow, which you don't see on these angels. They're red and with white lights and black shadows, and that's really odd to see in anything that is alive. Okay, the two colors that are chosen are actually also very interesting because they are very exotic colors. Now, depending on when this was painted, they could come from two different places. If it was later than I think it is, if it was after the 1550s, which is, I guess that's feasible, actually. That's feasible. That's when Spain was starting to colonize Mexico, and they had this beautiful red pigment dye made from beetles. I think it was called Cochlear, something with a C. I'll look it up. Right here. And I made this beautiful dye. Previous to that, the only time you could get a red like this was from the lacquerware in China, and they weren't able to reproduce that perfectly in European countries. So interesting. And then the blue of that shade is always made from the ground up Lapis Lazuli, which is why you can't put it into a cloth, because that's a rock. Anyway, so both of these are very expensive pigments. Oh my goodness, I only have 2 minutes left. Okay, so we have the creepy angels. Don't understand them. Then the other thing that is very odd is Mary's anatomy, and that actually, I'm going to break that down into 2 parts. You have not only her extremely tiny waist, which if she's wearing a corset, and again, depending on when this is painted, that might be believable. So if she's wearing a corset, but then she also has that like vase-shaped figure, so teeny tiny waist, and then kind of fairly wide rib cage up here, and then her breasts. They look like 2 halves of a grapefruit stuck onto her chest. There is a reason for that. It's not one that's widely admitted in the Middle Ages, but there's lots of speculation from more modern historians about that. And I'll get into that next time, but then the other weird thing about her anatomy is the fact that it doesn't look like she has any hair. Right, her hair is pulled back so tightly and so close to her head that it looks like she doesn't have any hair. You can maybe see some around her crown, but it's really, really difficult to see. So I want to know, first of all, why the angels? Why, if this is a later painting, because having that weird anatomy is really, really a medieval thing. So if it is a later painting, why does she have such weird anatomy in her chest? And then what's with the hair? Now, there are some possible reasons for this that I can look into, but yes, those are the main things that I want to discover. All right, phew, I made it. There's the alarm. Okay, so yes, if you think I've missed anything, if you see anything that's bizarre or interesting or beautiful, let me know. Give me a comment in the comment section. Always happy to hear. If you have any questions or any thoughts, I will try and address them or share them in the next video when I present the research. So until then, I'll see you later.